Hello my friends, thank you so much for joining me for another video. Now this is a very difficult video to try and explain because it is a tapestry tips video, but Mike asked me about the shed in tapestry weaving, and then I asked him if he meant the whole hills and valleys thing. It's already sounding super vague. There's a lot of things in tapestry that are quite complicated, but they can't be explained very easily in words. And I myself am not very good at explaining things, I feel, because I just do things without really thinking too much about how I would explain that to other people. So regarding the whole hills and valleys thing, the whole premise is that when you have a warp that you've got your weft under, then the next time you go past, you have to have a warp over. Otherwise, you're going to have a part of the warp showing, and that's called a... I can't remember what it's called, guys. It is called something. I'll insert it here because I can't remember. But anyway, you do need to make sure that you line up your hills and valleys so that your tapestry weaving is even. Now there are many different ways that you can do that. I am not going to go through them all. I'm just going to go through the ones that I use. Now in the tapestry community, there is a lot of dogma, a lot of rules. Some of them are worth abiding by. Some of them are not. Some of them are just because people have always done it that way. And as you know, if you've seen anything on this channel, you'll know that I don't really do anything in a conventional manner unless it's warranted, unless there's a good reason for it. So I saw someone online posting about this same thing in a tapestry group, and they mentioned one of the techniques that I am actually going to show you, and they got bashed for it. Figuratively speaking, they had people going, you can't do that, you can't do this. And I actually went in and commented and said, well, I do the same thing. And they were some very angry tapestry weavers. And my response is, why? If you've got things at the back, like loops of weft and things like that, you can secure them, you can cut them, who cares? You know, I think people get so hung up on the traditional way of doing things, and if doing it a certain way affects the structural integrity of the tapestry, then I certainly will not be doing that. But if the only reason these people can give is that it's always been done this way, I don't accept that at all. I would much prefer to create what I consider to be good art, and to use tapestry as a medium to do so, but not get too bogged down in all of those rules, especially if the rules are there for no other reason than we've always done it this way. So with that rather ridiculous introduction, I'm going to show you some ways that I do the hills and valleys in tapestry weaving, and you can give your own comments on this video. I may get some angry comments if any of these older tapestry weavers watch this video, but you know what? I think it's important to present techniques in tapestry weaving that aren't necessarily conventional techniques. So here we are. Okay, so here's a good example of, I want to do a line all the way along there, but my hills and valleys don't line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out where the problem is, which is here, and I'm going to start the line from here, and then by the time I come around, the hills and valleys should match up, if that makes sense. Let me show you. So I'm thinking that one. Oops, it's an awkward angle. No, next one. It's a dodgy angle here. So by the time I get to this part here, the hills and valleys are in alignment. And then we can start going all the way along again. Okay, the other thing you can do, which is super controversial, is jump from one point to another. So what I mean by that is go behind and then go from there. Now, some tapestry weavers hate that because it does create a loop on the other side of your weaving. I do it, not all the time, I try not to. I try to do the method I showed you first, but if I have to, and if it doesn't muck up anything, like for this one, then I would have to start the next colour here because my hills and valleys are then mucked up. So use it sparingly because, yeah, you don't want big loops behind here that could get caught on things, but if you use it sparingly, I don't see anything wrong with that, but other tapestry weavers may not agree. The other thing that you can do if your hills and valleys just are not working out is you can do a sumac, which means you can just wrap the warp just once, like that, and just keep wrapping. And then it's kind of like a neutral, like neither a hill or a valley, but you still create a nice, neat line. So I tend to do this when my hills and valleys are all over the place, but I still want to create a nice line. And then when the next line of weaving goes across there, then the hills and valleys will sort themselves out. If that makes sense. Sorry, I'm not very good at explaining this. It's stuff I just do rather than explain, if that makes sense. Okay, I hope that made sense. I hope that helped someone out there. This is just a short video just describing these techniques, but I also wanted to get across the point that you do you. You do what you feel is right for you. Don't listen to all the noise around you that tells you you have to do it a certain way, unless it affects the structure of the tapestry. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me. Please leave your comments and opinions below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.